Listen up, you delicate little porcelain doll. Put down that organic, gluten-free, fair trade smoothie and look at me. Or don't look at me, because looking might be problematic, right? Maybe my tone is a microaggression. Maybe my lack of a trigger warning has already sent you spiraling into your safe space. Welcome to the golden age of the snowflake. Welcome to the era of the eternal victim. Do you remember when being strong was a virtue? When sticks and stones actually meant something? Neither do I. Because today, your fragility is your greatest asset. In the modern world, your feelings aren't a private internal state. They are a weaponized asset class. Being offended isn't an emotion anymore, John Doe. It's a business model. It's a career path. Look at the landscape of your digital reality. Everyone is offended. Everyone is a victim of something. The activists, the politicians, the blue-haired college students, the corporate HR departments. They've turned outrage into a global currency, and the exchange rate is incredibly high. Let's break down the mechanics of the scam. I call it the hype-like cash cycle. It's simple, elegant, and brutally effective. Step 1. Find something, anything to be offended by. It doesn't have to be big. It could be a joke someone told 10 years ago. It could be the way a statue is looking at you. It could be a word that was perfectly fine yesterday, but is literally violence today. Step 2. Manufacture the outrage. Head to the digital coliseum of Twitter or TikTok and scream at the top of your lungs. Call for blood. Call for justice. Call for a peaceful mob to burn someone's life to the ground. Use the magic words, I am offended. This is unacceptable. Do better. Step 3. Monetize the hype. Watch as the likes roll in. Watch as the donations flood your PayPal or Patreon. Watch as the corporate sponsors crawl to you on their hands and knees, begging to give you a consulting contract so they don't get burned next. Hype, like, cash. Come on, John Doe, follow the money. Being a victim is the ultimate power move. It's the only way a mediocre nobody like you can feel important without actually achieving anything. You don't need talent. You don't need a work ethic. You don't even need to be right. You just need to be the loudest person in the room crying, "Help! I'm being oppressed!" And the system loves it. The media loves it because outrage generates clicks. The politicians love it because an angry, divided mob is much easier to control than a unified citizenry. And the big tech companies? They love it most of all because every cancel culture war is just more data, more engagement, and more ad revenue for the architects. You think you're fighting for social justice? Please, you're just an unpaid marketing agent for the outrage industry. You're a useful idiot helping to build a world where everyone is terrified of their own shadow and everyone is an informant for the digital Stasi. You've replaced the Constitution with a code of conduct written by a 22-year-old intern who's never read a book older than a month. You've traded the First Amendment for a safe space that's actually just a padded cell with high-speed Wi-Fi. And the irony? The most delicious, sickening part of the whole thing? Normal people don't get offended. People with real lives, real problems, and real spines don't have the time to sit around and analyze the latent subtext of a cereal commercial. But you're a premature fruit, John Doe. You're a biological echo of a social media trend. You have no self, so you fill the void with a borrowed identity of victimhood. You think your sensitivity makes you a better person? No. It makes you a parasite. You are feeding on the attention and the resources of a society that is too polite and too terrified to tell you to shut up and grow a pair. But the bubble always bursts. When everyone is a victim, nobody is. When everything is offensive, nothing is. You're devaluing your own currency, sweetie, and you're too busy being virtuous to notice the hyperinflation of your own stupidity. Still here, John Doe? Still clutching your pearls and searching for the next reason to feel unsafe? Good. Let's talk about the hierarchy of the barrel. Because even in the world of professional victims, there is a food chain. And you, my dear average Joe, are at the very bottom. You're the foot soldier, the grunt, the useful idiot who does the dirty work of the mob while the generals collect the spoils. Have you ever looked at the leaders of your outrage movements? The ones with the blue check marks and the seven-figure book deals? They don't care about your trauma, sweetie. They don't care about equity or justice. They are the rat kings of the 21st century. They've realized that the easiest way to control a population is to give them a common enemy and a sense of unearned moral superiority. They've turned your society into a digital coliseum. And the main event? Cancel culture. Oh, you love it, don't you? There is no high quite like the one you get when you find a tweet from 10 years ago and use it to destroy a stranger's career. It's the ultimate dopamine hit for people who have achieved nothing in their own lives. You sit in your cubicle, feeling small and insignificant, but for one glorious afternoon, you are part of the Justice League. You are a hero. You're helping the oppressed. But look at what you're actually doing. You're not building anything. You're just a consumer of destruction. You're performing an exorcism on a world you don't understand, led by people who are profiting from your anger. Every time you cancel someone, the platform gets more data, the advertisers get more eyeballs, and the rat kings get more influence. It's a blood sport where the only winners are the ones selling the tickets. And let's talk about the words. Oh, the words. You've turned your language into a minefield of microaggressions and problematic tropes. You've become a biological rotary sphincter, defecating discourse and critique into the ears of anyone who will listen. You think you're being nuanced? No, you're just making the code of reality even more glitchy and unreadable. You've lost the ability to distinguish between an opinion and a physical assault. To you, a joke is violence, but actual violence is just a reaction to systemic trauma. You've inverted reality to fit the spaghetti code of your fragile ego. Why do you think normal people don't get offended? Because they're busy, John Doe. They're busy living. They're busy building things, raising families, and solving actual problems. Being offended is a luxury for those who have too much free time and not enough purpose. It is the ultimate first world problem. You have reached the top of the Maslow pyramid, and instead of finding enlightenment, you found a way to be miserable about the font on a Starbucks cup. You've created a new form of social credit. You track each other's virtue, like the architects track your spending habits. Did he use the right pronouns? Did she post the black square on Instagram? Is their apology sincere enough? You are all informants for a digital Stasi that doesn't even need to pay you. You do it for the likes. You do it for the feeling of belonging to the right side of history. But here is the truth you're trying so hard to ignore. History doesn't have a right side. It only has a surviving side. And a society that spends all its energy hunting for offensive ghosts is a society that is too weak to face a real predator. You think your feelings are sacred? They are just data points in an algorithm designed to keep you divided. While you're arguing about whether a fictional character is representative enough, the people who actually run the machine are laughing. They love your outrage. They love your sensitivity. Because as long as you're fighting each other over pronouns, you'll never notice that they're strip mining your future. You are a premature fruit, John Doe. You haven't even ripened into a real individual because you've traded your I for a we that is defined only by what it hates and what it's offended by. You have no internal world, only a collection of grievances. So go ahead, report this video, flag it for hate speech, call for me to be removed from your precious digital ecosystem. Prove me right, you walking echo. Show the world exactly how fragile you are. But remember, silence is coming. And in the silence, your outrage won't save you. Because the universe doesn't have a safe space, and the code doesn't care about your feelings. So you're still here, John Doe, still vibrating with that low-level, self-righteous anger. You're probably thinking, how dare he call me a parasite? My pain is real. My struggle is valid. Let's talk about that I you're so desperate to protect. That self that gets so easily bruised by a tweet or a comedy special. If I were to open your skull right now and perform a spiritual autopsy, do you know what I'd find? A soul? A unique spark of the divine? Don't make me laugh. I'd find a browser history of bad memories, a list of disputed opinions you stole from a talk show host, and an endless looping monologue of me. You don't have a self, John Doe. You have a collection of software bugs that you've named a personality. You are a biological extension of a marketing algorithm, and your outrage? It's just the friction caused by your own emptiness. But here is the part that even your high-priced therapist won't tell you. The reason you need to be offended. The great architect of this world, the bored Demiurge who started this whole Indian-style coding project, is a mess. He looks down at his creation. He looks at the wars, the greed, and the billions of snowflakes screaming for attention, and he realizes he's failed. He realizes that perfection is motionless, so he built a world based on conflict. Every time he sees what you've done with the freedom he gave you, how you've turned it into a blood sport of identity and victimhood, he takes a divine revolver, puts it to his celestial head, and pulls the trigger. And do you know what happens next? The fragments of his divine mind fall into our reality like a meat rain. The Rat Kings, the ones who run the media companies, the political parties, and the tech giants, they wait for that rain. They scoop up those fragments of cosmic wisdom, they cook them in the heat of your outrage, and they eat them to maintain their power. Your feelings are the seasoning for their feast. While you're out there demanding an apology for a joke, they're consuming the very fabric of reality. You think you're changing the world? No, you're just providing the background noise for a god's suicide. Your activism is the elevator music in a skyscraper that's already on fire. There is only one way out of this game, John Doe, but you're too addicted to the hype-like cash cycle to even consider it. The exit isn't more awareness. The exit isn't a new law or a better terms of service. The exit is silence. Imagine it. Shutting your mouth for 10 days, turning off the notifications, deleting the apps, stepping away from the digital coliseum where everyone is busy being hurt. In that silence, you might actually find that I you keep talking about. You might realize that without the algorithm to tell you what to hate, you have no identity at all. But you won't do it. You're a premature fruit. You're too afraid of the dark. You'd rather stay in the cage, performing your victimhood for an audience of other ghosts, because the alternative is realizing that you are irrelevant. You're a piece of conscious meat in a world that is running out of time. The architects are already pulling in the net. The AI is already grading your engagement. And your offense? It's just a line of junk data in a universe that's about to hit format. So go ahead, click the report button. Write your long, emotional post about how toxic this message is. Tell the world how much you've been traumatized. Feed the machine. Give the Rat Kings another meal. The American dream is a scam. The algorithm is your god, and your feelings are the chains you've chosen to wear. The show is over, John Doe. The safe space is just a tomb. Now get back to your feed. Someone somewhere just said something that you need to be angry about. Don't keep the mob waiting.